They say that we have nothing to lose and everything to gain. But is that really true when you have so much responsibility on you? How do you get to the state of fearlessness where it prompts you to take an action? Well, that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show, so stay tuned. Yes, welcome to today's DKW show. We've got a fab topic today, nothing to lose. How do you become bold and fearless to take on your day-to-day challenges? Before I go into it, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who came down to Westfield yesterday, and in Stratford we had a fabulous event. Isn't that right, ladies? They're all nodding like, yes, it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it, every part of it. The makeup, the Zumba, and those of you, and also the V-Woman book, which was a great hit on the day as well. And the live shows. And the live shows as well, how can I forget? And we had the lovely Chrissy B.
Yeah,
it feels like long time no see. Our sister. TV program we haven't seen in ages, but yeah, it was so nice to have everybody together.
Yeah, it was
we
lovely.
Really enjoyed it.
And actually, speaking about Chrissy B, we're going to have another live show actually.
Yep.
So this Saturday, coming up on the 23rd, we are going to join with Chrissy B, DKW and Chrissy B together for Love, Life and Lipstick at the Rainbow Theatre.
Oh, I love the topic. It's going to be a very, very interesting one.
It's going to be amazing, amazing.
So for those of you as well who do have comments on the event and how you found it, please let us know on our Facebook page, A Different Kind of Woman, and you can send your comments to comments@dkw.me. So ladies, Cherie,
hello,
you're back in the studio. You have all the latest gossip on what's happening. Tell us.
Right, to keep you guys updated now. Right, I've got 3 shocking news pieces. You know, we only pick the shockers.
I know you've got these cards.
I'm going to explain to you what they're for.
Okay.
Got them ready?
Yeah.
I have them.
All right. I'm going to give you some news pieces, and I want you to tell me if the people that are inside these news pieces had nothing to lose, that would be green.
Okay.
Or everything to lose, that would be red.
All right.
Okay? So is that nothing to lose green?
Okay.
Everything to lose red. Okay.
So basically, if things are going down south, we should vote red.
Yeah, if you think,
and if
this
it looks
person
good,
has got nothing to lose by doing this, it's a green.
Right.
If you reckon they've got everything to lose,
it's
red.
Red
Yeah?
card.
I love
okay, so do our hand as well. Do our hand as well.
Card, yeah.
Okay, so first piece. In South Africa, an 8-year-old boy marries a 61-year-old woman to make their ancestors happy. It's true. It was on the news this week. They got married. They signed the documents.
Wrong.
Well, people are saying that it's not legit because obviously
ridiculous.
it's you know, he's underage.
Absolutely
However,
ridiculous.
a marriage certificate was signed. So yes. This is the truth. This is the truth.
I love his suit, by the way.
It was part of the culture.
His suit. It's like
yes.
Unbelievable.
So anyway, I beg the question: does this 8-year-old boy have nothing to lose? Or everything to lose, guys?
It's a blatant red card. I mean, come on. I'm absolutely mortified. That's absolutely. I just. What?
But what do you mean?
But why? Why did he? Why did
Does the boy have nothing to lose, Gemma, by marrying the 61-year-old?
Gemma.
Or everything to lose?
Got everything to lose.
Why is that then?
Shireen, an 8-year-old boy, number one, at 8 years old, you are not ready
You
to
should
get
be playing
married.
with your Transformers,
You're
mate.
not. And
This is
61,
sorry.
you know, like how many more years has she got in her? Like, do you see what I mean? It's just, it's child abuse.
I mean,
actually, that would never happen in this country.
What happens in South Africa?
Absolutely. We have a lot of laws, a lot of policies and so on, and sometimes we are too politically correct. But yeah, thank God that things like this will never ever happen.
What do you think?
I'm just absolutely shocked. I mean, he's just basically out of nappies.
Yeah,
come on.
As a child.
It's a
Even the suit looks too big on him.
It's
you know what I mean?
true. She was to make his ancestors happy.
Great grandmother.
some people might argue.
Not even alive. That's the thing. It's
Yeah, but
people come up with all this
allegedly, according to an article, actually, it's true. According to an article I saw on this, because I didn't know all about this until you mentioned it, but now it's just rung a chord. Apparently, that he saw a ghost who was an ancestor that said that he should marry.
That's what happened.
Okay, yes, so this is where like parents and guardians come in, because at the end of the day, when you're a child, you have dreams, you have nightmares, you say that you see things, you know, you think that Disney characters are real. It's not. So then you need to have parents to give you guidance. And I want to know where his guardians are.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm so glad that you've all put up that card, by the way. But anyway, so let's swiftly move on. If you want to have comments, if you've got comments about this news piece, please post it on our Facebook at A Different Kind of Woman. And let's go on to the next one. So, you know, we love to always bring up Kim Kardashian from TV.
Oh, gosh, our beloved Kim. It
never
gets any better.
You know, Sam, our dear DKW presenter, she said if we bring it up again, she's going to go mad. So thank God that she's not on
this one show. She's not on this show.
She's always on the news for something. But now it's with Chris Humphries, you know, her ex-husband.
Oh, my gosh, now what?
So what happened is this. You know, they were married and everything. Yeah. So now they're going through a divorce, a really, you know, big battle, you know, who's going to get what over the divorce. And now he's really nitpicking, apparently, because he's saying that actually they reshot their wedding proposal on, you know, keeping
on their reality TV show.
On their reality TV show that's on E. And they'd already been filing for divorce at that time. Apparently, he's arguing that it was all a stunt to make money. Well, hence the reason why he's fighting in this battle to prove that it was fake.
What, the wedding?
Well, the wedding.
It was fake, and I do, and well, actually, I don't have evidence that it was fake, but in my personal opinion, I do believe it was fake. Do you know how much money they made off of on endorsements, on sponsorships, and all of that kind of stuff for their wedding alone? They made $8 million.
Well, my question is this.
8 million.
My question is this.
8 million. Even if you got, because think about it. If I don't believe in marriage properly, and I get married to someone, and I know that we're both going to come out of it with 8 million. If worst comes to worst, if we get divorced, you walk off with your 4, I walk off with my 4. Goodbye, done and dusted.
No, but I think that Kim,
stop, guys. This is what I'm asking. Does Chris have nothing to lose or everything to gain by pursuing this?
Oh, it's everything to gain. He's more famous
right now. That's true. But everyone's just saying, just let it go. Let the woman get divorced. She wants to move on with Kanye.
Oh, okay. Now that you put it that way.
So, nothing to lose, everything to gain, everything to lose.
It depends. It's how you put the question. Yeah. If you're in terms of him losing a woman, if they were never in love in the first place, he has absolutely nothing to lose.
Green card for you?
No, nothing to lose on that respect.
However, she's like, hello, Jennifer.
You know me, I'm always on the fence at times. And on this one in particular, I think he does have something to lose. Why? Because if they had an agreement, quote unquote, that this was going to be a publicity stunt, and it pretty much did look like a publicity stunt when they got together, he's losing out on the 4 million that he was supposed to get half of.
Well,
look, I'd say, Chris, go for it. At the end of the day, Chris has everything to gain. Who knew Chris Humphries before this whole thing?
True that.
I didn't even know who the guy was. Yeah, he's like a basketball player or whatever, so he's got his own money, fine. But at the end of the day, now he's got fame, people go after you, they want the story. You know, he was with Kim. Kim is like one of the most famous reality stars in the world right now.
For the wrong
reasons, but still she is. I say you go for it. And then if it is, you know, all a stunt, he took part in it. But if it's what he believes in, then go for it.
All right then, let's move on to the next one.
Marie didn't vote, by the way.
I've got Marie's one next door.
I was staying quiet is because I would have lifted both mine up.
That's
something that Jennifer would do.
So Jennifer.
Don't get a brush off on
Jennifer. Let's see if you'll be more defined with the last one.
Okay.
So I was reading up in the New York Post that there are some really well-off Americans who decide that they're going to moonlight, that's like being strippers, to earn an extra $8,000 every month by just doing some stripping on the side.
What?
Oh, so what do you reckon? Just making a bit more money, nothing to lose? Gemma. You got the card up already. What do you have to say by that?
What does this card mean again?
They've got everything to lose.
And
nothing to lose.
Everything to lose.
Why is that then?
they're wealthy Americans, right? So they're probably businesswomen and businessmen.
But they just say that their normal job, because of the lifestyle they have, is just not enough to pay everything.
The thing is, true, but in a lot of companies, you know, reputation is everything. Like I used to work in insurance, and if you were known to be stripping, you probably would lose your job. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you know, they've got to uphold their company's values as well. And
what if it wasn't a wealthy American? What if it was your average Joe?
I just think in terms of, you know, not that I'm saying that strippers don't have self-respect, but sometimes you lose a lot of your respect, and I think it's the way that people see you anyway. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you're going to do something like that in a hidden way, then I don't think it's quite good. I just think it is tough. It's tough on everybody. I think even wealthy people are feeling the pinch right now with the economic downturn. But I think there's so many other things you can do rather than stripping.
Maria, what do you think?
I already have my red card. I had my card up a long time because I'm listening to what Gemma is saying. I agree with Gemma 100%. You have to hold on to your self-respect.
It's hard, isn't it?
You have to hold on.
I understand.
What if you had children? What if you had children
difficult.
and you were scraping the barrel? I mean, food is not coming in, the money's not coming in the way you want it. Would you do it? Do you still think they've got everything to?
Well, I can't dance, you see, so I wouldn't be a stripper.
Somehow I don't think that would I don't think that's what they really care about, Gemma.
They're not asking you to dance.
I just couldn't do it. I know it's hard. I know it's really difficult, but I don't know. I couldn't see myself doing it. Also, I probably look like a 10-year-old, so they'd be like.
Great.
Shane, anything to add?
Is there anything I could possibly add? No, I agree with everyone. I just think, I know things are hard and so on, and I could sit on the fence with this one with arguments as to why they could get away with it. I mean, it's your body. You pretty much can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. If you want to run around the street butt naked, not that it would be appropriate, you could. My only qualm is that where do we draw the line on certain things, on morals? I mean, if you start saying that this is okay, then it's like, you know, you go into other areas of kind of work that is unacceptable in the public eye or in society right now, which will then become acceptable. My thing is, if you don't have the money to buy the things that you want, I don't think it's worth your reputation. It's the truth. I'm sorry. If you're used to a certain lifestyle and unfortunately things are tightening up and you don't have the money to keep it up, be sincere, be humble about it, and start shopping in Primark if you can't go down to Gucci. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It's the truth. Because it's
not that we're trying to
nothing wrong with
there's
nothing. Yeah, we're not throwing brands out there. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's the truth. Because at the end of the day, many people, they do this because they want to keep up with the Jones, and sometimes for them it's like, I have to keep up this wealth in front of everybody. If there wasn't so many people probably counting on them or looking up to them to a certain degree, they probably wouldn't feel that pressure to live that lifestyle.
But I think that people who can afford Gucci are a very small part of the population here in London, for instance. I think that people who can afford that, then they're a really small cross-section. I think that so many people are suffering. There's so many people who are unemployed at the moment. Not that I'm saying that, oh yeah, you should go and sell your body or whatever. No, but I think that people who are in that category, who want to live up to that sort of standard and can afford design labels, are really small. But I think people are just suffering.
But I took it from the standpoint of like what you were saying in regards to the people that have a wealthy life and they want to top it up. That is greed. For me, I see that as a form of greed, because then you might as well just say, do you know what, I want to top it up, so I'm going to sell drugs. Or I'm going to sell illegal material. Do you understand what I mean? Where do you draw the line? That's my stance on it.
Give us your feedback. That is a question.
Give us your feedback. Email us at comments@DKW.me, or you can go on our Facebook page at Different Kind of Women and let us know what you think.
Yes, let us know if they have everything or nothing to lose. And that's today's topic, and we'll be back after this break.
Airwick's new generation of aerosols don't use artificial chemicals to release their fragrance. They are powered by 100% natural, fresh air to brighten your world with a fresher, cleaner fragrance experience. Something in the air wick.
No two stains are the same, but they're all washed in the same way, which can leave dishes dirty. New Finish Quantum has unique cleansing microbeads that target even the toughest stains, leaving a flawless shine. Try Quantum with targeted cleaning. Finish the diamond standard. Test it for yourself. Take the Quantum Challenge. See the difference, or it's free.
Every time you shave, it can damage your underarm skin. But Dove could help. With our unique 1/4 moisturizing cream formula and vitamin E and F that actively helps skin recover in just 7 days. Beautiful underarms in just 7 days. Dove deodorant, effective protection for beautiful results.
So much more than I was wishing for. It's simply wonderful. It's simply wonderful.
A plaster for mouth ulcers? Discover new Bonjela Complete Plus, an advanced complete treatment that forms a protective layer, like a plaster, soothes pain, aids healing, and lasts for up to 4 hours. Bonjela Complete Plus, our most complete treatment ever.
We know your puppy will eat everything he shouldn't. So it's very important to feed him something he should. New Caesar Puppy contains all the vitamins and minerals your special little friend needs to grow up healthy, so you can love them back from the very beginning.
Have you ever wondered what men really want from women? Ever tried unlocking the male mind? Introducing Love, Life and Lipstick, an event hosted by DKW with special guest Chrissy B. We're inviting you to be a part of this special TV recording on Saturday the 23rd of March at 2 p.m. We will have expert advice, relationship tips, fashion, prize draws and much more. This will be an event to remember.
Every woman deep inside has grown up or has the idea of, I want to meet that Mr. Right.
We're open and we're honest, and that's how we bond, because we really are a group of friends. I'm really glad that she shared that with us.
You know, by getting these guests on the show, you learn so much.
Exactly.
Taking place at the Rainbow Theatre in Finsbury Park. Love, Life and Lipstick, Saturday the 23rd of March at 2 p.m. See you there.
Welcome back to DKW. Today we're talking about nothing to lose, how you can become fearless and go out there and take action and conquer the world if possible. So we were at Charing Cross last week, or I should say the week before that, at a very special book launched by Edir Macedo. He launched a book called Nothing to Lose, where he talks about his memoirs and some of the struggles that he had to face. The book in itself has been a worldwide bestseller, selling thousands across the continents. And take a look at this video to find out what DKW got up to at Charing Cross, Blackwells.
In this book, he shares his experience with God, how he managed to transform his life and the lives of millions of people all over the world.
We are here in the heart of Leicester Square for one reason only, the book launch, Nothing to Lose by Bishop Edir Macedo.
I think Bishop Macedo is a remarkable man, and I'm very interested to read more about his life.
I can't wait to read it, and I can't wait to donate it to the people that I've got waiting for it.
I know that it's going to make a big change in my life and my family.
not miss this opportunity. I even bought more books as well because I want to give some to family and friends.
Whoever wants a breakthrough in life, whoever wants to learn how to stand firm for the faith that they profess, they need to read this book.
Well, I've heard a lot about this book, and everything that I've heard is just been exceptional.
Bishop Macedo is like the founder of UCKG, and there's been so much success from the church. So I want to sort of see for my own self what was the recipe for his success.
I'm so happy, and I can't wait to go home and start reading.
It's going to be an amazing experience to read.
I want to find out what about my church and what it's all about how did Bishop Macedo use his faith and how I can use my faith as well.
It's been a great inspiration for me already.
To have such an amazing, huge, good-natured crowd is really something very special indeed.
I'm sure that what the contents of this book, uplifts everyone who is reading, so we want to get ours as well.
It's been good, everyone's happy, everyone's excited. It's a little bit cold, a little bit rainy, but you know what, we're happy because we know what we're about to receive is just going to help so many people, including us, so we're very happy to be here.
The key is, how did he overcome it? How did he make it? That's what we want people to be able to enjoy from the book. And I want this also to be done in my life.
I'm telling you, it was absolutely amazing. Ladies, how was it for you being there at Blackwell's and seeing all of those people? As you can see, the queues were absolutely enormous. They were like never ending.
It was never ending. Actually, the queue went from Charing Cross Road near Leicester Square all the way to Trafalgar Square.
No, it went past Trafalgar. It was at one point. I had one of the cameramen looking at me like that went all the way down Trafalgar Square and going towards the Strand.
Because I think one of our dear presenters was at the end.
Right, two of us actually. Maria and I, we just kept walking and walking. And walking.
About the queue.
We end up in the Strand.
The queue wasn't single file. The queue was like
right? Yeah, there was thousands of people there.
Yeah,
it was
and we were right at the back.
We were right at the back here, yeah, the last ones.
Well, actually, I saw the embankment station.
Embankment?
Yes, she saw it. She saw it, but we were near the Strand.
So we passed all the stations.
Yeah. I mean, did you? Okay, I know we went to the book launch for coverage, but did anyone actually get their hands on a book?
I did.
I got one.
Started reading it already.
How was it for you? How's the book been for you?
It's been fantastic. Can I just say that about the day though, that it was just electric, because it was freezing cold, but it's just about how everyone just stood there excited, and we kind of the joy and the excitement of being part of history. Because I think 1 million books were sold from that. Around the world,
around the world.
So that's the history you're part of. I mean, we're never going to be famous, and I want to be rich one day, but in case but I can make history by being part of this queue, and that was the amazing thing of the event. That I knew that I was part of history in the making. Was
one
wonderful.
question I want to ask. I don't know if you got feedback. I did from the queue. What made this book so special? Why were so many people queuing up? Because the thing is, for me, it was Mother's Day as well.
It was Mother's Day.
So for me to do the coverage on this actual article, it was like, okay, wow. I should be at home with mummy, but I actually did enjoy myself. But I want to throw it out to you because I know what I'm going to say about the book. But I mean, why was so many people queuing out there? I mean, Maria.
Well, I know why I was queuing. I don't know why everybody else was queuing.
All 6,000 people.
Yeah, all 6,000 of them.
Why?
I think for me, it was what I already heard about. What was going to, about the actual author, well, the writer himself, Edir Macedo, and because I've heard so much about it, and I wanted to get the book for myself. In fact, let me tell you something, I got 11 books.
11 books?
Yeah, because I heard so much about it, I wanted to share the books with others, and so I left with 11 books.
Gemma,
do you know the amazing thing about this guy is that he is just a simple man. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. This person, he had everything against him. He even has a birth defect, because I actually got to speak with, as you can see on there, I got to speak with his daughter. And she was saying that society was against him, he was rejected. And she said, actually, even when I was born with my birth defect on my mouth, I could relate to some of what he went through. And it was quite inspiring, because you see someone who had basically everything to lose, everything against him. And a lot of people wake up every day thinking, I'm useless.
Yeah.
Right? And from this man, so many people have been helped. Millions of people around the world, and that is undeniable. You cannot come against that. No matter what you want to say, you know, he's inspiring. So because he's an inspiration, because he's done something different to step out, he's broken the mold. You want to know what the secret is, the recipe. What is the recipe for his success, if you like? Someone from such humble beginnings. And that's why I wanted to read the book, because I just think, hold on a minute, it's a little bit like Nelson Mandela. Only when Nelson went to prison did people want to know about this man.
Who he was,
And Edir Macedo, he said, look, I went to prison, I slept on the floor. And at the time he was despised, but today he is so well known. He's a public figure who's recognised, and you must respect that.
I think for me, going there, I had so many expectations, and at the same time, I didn't know what to expect. It was really strange. And seeing all of those people made me really intrigued and made me want to find out, okay, why are these people queuing there?
In the cold,
on Mother's Day,
right?
And everything. So I was there, and I remember when I got my hands on the book, I quickly skimmed through. And even, you know, the pages that I read, it was like really interesting, speaking about his struggles, like you said, and also his passion. I think that's what caught my eye. I was like, wow, having passion for what you do, having passion for life. Many people, they wake up day to day and they're absolutely miserable because they don't have the guts to go and get what they want. They don't have the guts to say, right, I don't want my life to be like this no more. I'm going to go and do this, and I'm going to go and get that. And reading that was really inspiring. I was like, okay, if he could, and he was simple, so can I, pretty much.
Yeah, it's true. It was curiosity, I must say, first of all. That's the reason I wanted to be there. Because, you know, it's true, you're hearing about all around the world, these books being sold. But
loads.
So, you know, you want to find out what is going on. But for me, reading the book, it is really, really just hit home to me this. You know, you read a lot of autobiographies. I love to follow the celebs. I love e-news. Everyone knows this. I love when they come out with their autobiographies, but they don't actually do anything to help people. It's just, you know, we just like to follow them. But this man has made himself so selfless. He's actually he can actually say that he has nothing to lose. I can't say that. I have a lot of things in myself which, you know, I'm probably not as successful as I could be because I'm holding on to those things.
So many things,
And that is what I wanted to get from this book. How do you get to the point where you don't have anything to lose? That is how you become successful. Because that is the recipe, but how? And that's why I wanted to read. That's why I wanted to read about it, because actually everyone thinks that he was just a nobody, but he was a civil servant. He had a good job, he had a lovely family. He could have been doing really well. He was educated. It's not like he's just some poor guy out of nowhere trying to sell himself. It's not like that. He was a family man. He had a career. He had many things, but he gave it up because he was passionate about helping people and for free. And he has raised mentors all around the world to do that, to say, do you know what, to people, no matter who you are, where you come from, your age, your race, it doesn't matter. If you want help, you can make it. Who tells you that in modern society? Who does that? Who leaves everything, their own dreams behind to see other people happy? Well, that's what drives him.
Speaking of dreams,
read about that.
Something that I found really beautiful in the day is someone proposed in the middle of the book launch.
Our very own Angel Desiree.
Yes. Especially someone
was like, James, I can't believe you've done this.
You got to hear it right at the back of the
Yeah.
You got to hear it.
All the way down in Trafalgar Square.
All the way.
Everyone said yes.
Yeah, she did say yes, and it was
always helps.
It was so beautiful, because like I've never ever seen that before at a book launch, where you've got people signing and in the middle of it you've got a proposal and you've got the heart piercing.
She had to say yes.
Otherwise he had everything to lose at that point.
He had everything to lose, I'm telling you.
I know you've got some comments from our Facebook of some
I do. I've got Michelle here from Leeton that said that the book launch was absolutely amazing. She's already started reading the book. She says, I've already wanted to cry a few times because you can sense the passion that Edir Macedo talks about in detail with his experiences. I really want to read it slowly and digest it as slowly as I possibly can. I've got Sabrina from Finsbury Park saying, I've just finished reading the book. So that's quick. And I have no words to describe. If I knew who Bishop Macedo was, If I thought I knew who he was, I was just like many others who just thought he was just an ordinary guy. But now I can see that he's experienced so many rejections. He's been despised, but he's never allowed his dreams to be cast aside. No matter when the whole world is against him, he still kept holding on. And this is what I've learned from.
Oh, that's fantastic. Brilliant. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your comments. And of course, if you want to comment again, then visit our Facebook page, A Different Kind of Woman, or you can tweet us at dkw.me, or of course you can email us info@dkw.me or comments at dkw.me. You know, and I was so proud of myself, I almost got it right. And also, guys, I just want to let you know, if you want to get your hands on a copy of this book, because it is an amazing read, it really is. Millions of people have read it all over the world, and it's got great reviews. We've got 3 to give away. Ooh. Lucky you guys. So, of course, all you need to do is visit our Facebook page, A Different Kind of Woman. And all you need to do is say, please give me a copy of Nothing to Lose. And the first 3 people that put that on our page will get a free copy. Oh, how easy is that? See, don't say that we never give you a break. Yeah, presenters are not allowed. Or angels, by the way.
But do you know what? I've got an excerpt here from the book. Now, I want to read them throughout there and let me know what you think. One of the things that Edir Macedo writes is there are 2 ways at looking at your past. One is to record the moments we've lived through, feel the pain of those wounds, and still linger and become a slave to these hard and painful moments. And then another way of looking at it is to learn from the past and to bring those truths into the present, turning them into learning experiences. Now, ladies, what do you think about that?
It's amazing.
I mean, a little bit more. But no, seriously, because, you know, he made a very interesting point. How many people are so bitter and resentful over past hurts, things that have happened, like a failed relationship or a job or a career that didn't go down well or a bust up in the family, and they still hold on to that instead of moving forward.
I think women do that a lot. You know, you hold on to the past and hold on to baggage and you allow it to affect you. I think especially in relationships, you know, if you've got a friendship or a relationship that breaks down, it's like we women, we tend to hoard that emotion. Yeah. And we let it change our views. I did that for 3 years.
3 years? Why?
She threw herself a pity party and we all had to be part of it.
Are you serious? Oh gosh, Shireen, give us the lowdown. Give us the detail on what exactly took place. I want to know about this. Jem, Jen's holding secrets. 3 years? What happened?
No, Jen, I've said it on the show before. You've obviously not been watching.
No, I obviously need to know which one you're talking about.
All my bag of issues here on the DKW show. But do you remember? And I was there for like 3 years being miserable, and then now that I look back, I just think,
miserable about what? She's still not highlighting what it was.
Well, it was about relationships. My relationship broke down, and I was just so. And then I started thinking, oh my gosh, you know, all men are the same kind of thing, and you know, I want to be alone. I actually said I will never get married, and it's like, you know, one day I just woke up and thought, just like he said, you can either choose to let your past dictate your future, or you can just say, you know what, I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to take the truth and turn it around.
But how did you come to that realization? Because there's one thing about waking up one day and so on, and we're going to discuss that after the break, because I'm sure there's a woman out there that's probably watching you like, Gemma, I know how you feel. He did me wrong and I feel so horrible. I feel so bad. How does she get out of this rut? You're going to give her those tips after this break.
So much more than I was wishing for. It's simply wonderful. It's simply wonderful.
Simple knows delicate skin is dried out by wind, sun, and everyday life. That's why you need Simple moisturizers with vitamin goodness. With no colour and no perfume, Simple's Kind to Skin moisturizers are the UK's #1. They keep working for 12 hours, leaving your skin soft and smooth. And now our new Simple Moisture Boost Mist gives you an instant boost, even over makeup. Simple. We believe in goodness.
Hi, welcome back to today's show. We're talking nothing to lose. They say when you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. But is that really true? And that's what we've been discussing on today's show. So, Jem, I wanted to find out from you, how did you overcome that situation in particular quickly?
Yeah.
Because there might be a lady watching right now and she feels like she's got everything to lose with this guy.
I think we did a show about using your head over your heart, and I think that's exactly it. I think when you look at yourself and you're in a situation, you need to sort of say to yourself, hold on a minute, is this emotion getting me anywhere? I think a lot of the time we make decisions fueled by our emotions, and we make the wrong decision. You know, like if your boss is being really terrible to you, having a hard time, sometimes you walk out of the job and then you've got no money. Okay, these decisions are a lot of the time they're of the heart, and you've got to use your head, and that's what I did. I started using my head and realising that this emotion that I was feeling, my heartbreak, etc., wasn't doing me any good. It was just bringing me into luxury instead of pity party, where actually only I was turning up. She exited. And then I thought, you know what, life is too short for me to be here, and I had to use my head. And I think that's what people need to realise. It doesn't mean, I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to do what I want and live a reckless life. When we're talking about nothing to lose, it means looking at the situation that you're in and making an informed choice, an intelligent decision, using our heads more. That's what it means.
Yeah. Maria, what do you think? I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you thought, I've got nothing to lose here, and you went off on an emotional tangent?
Yes. I have actually, yeah. It was about a breakup.
As well? Wow.
A breakup.
It's always a breakup.
It's always a breakup. But then you know what? That went on for years and years and years until it was like, I can't even say one morning I woke up. I hadn't slept all that night.
Wow.
And I laid there thinking, did the other person lose sleep? That's what got me. And I thought, do you know what? I've wasted enough time. Enough is enough. I've gone into the emotion, I've gone into the everything, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to lose one more day because of that person. Because the person didn't even know how I was feeling. The person got on with their lives. They were getting on. They were, getting married, doing this, doing that. So what am I doing? What am I doing?
You know what some people think? They think, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to lose. No one cares about me. I'm going to kill myself. And that's not what we're talking about. We're saying, actually, everything that says to you that you can't do it, that you're useless, that you're hopeless, all those negative feelings that we all battle with every single day, is going against them, facing our fears and saying, no, actually, I have got this drive, I'm going to do it. Just like this man, Edir Macedo, if he had to look at his defect on his hands, if he had to think about all the negative comments he received, everyone saying that you're never going to make it, then he would have, been a nobody. He would have given up on his dream. We're not talking about people who are giving up on their dream. We're talking about people who are going to pursue their dream despite the comments.
What happens? And you know what? Sorry, saying that is even the suicide even reminded me of how sometimes you don't want to do something because you think that it's not going to work, or you think that things are not going to get better. But by you not doing anything, it's not going to get better.
It makes the situation worse. It's not even, because that's what my dad did. He killed himself, thinking, you know what? Actually, I've come to the end. And he killed himself. My dad did that, and I never met my dad. But I remember growing up thinking, oh my gosh, he put petrol in our house, and he blew himself up in the house because he thought, you know what, it's not worth it anymore. And he killed himself. But he never allowed himself to get to the point of having a better life. Because he ended it.
And how many people, but this is the thing, how many people do that? Maybe not on, maybe you're thinking, well, I don't feel like committing suicide, but maybe it's a case whereby you have that dream of that career that you want, but you don't pursue it, you don't try because you think you've got so much to lose and it's not going to work. You not trying it, you've already given yourself the answer of no, because you haven't given yourself the chance to get the yes. You have literally nothing to lose if it doesn't work out, because you'll just be in the same position that you was when you never started anything in the first place.
There's those people out there, especially women who go through such bad situations like I've been through as well, and here we've got a lot of examples, but they feel like, I tried it and it didn't work, and actually I was hurt, like in a relationship or in a career move or in a financial project, and they feel that, oh no, now I've done it and it's just terrible. I feel like I've given my all to this thing and it did not work. It took everything I had and it didn't work, and now I'm left with absolutely nothing. That's how some women feel. But actually, I'm here to say that, that's the best place to be. Because, you know, I've been in a position where I was so ashamed and embarrassed by a situation that went wrong, which I've spoken about many times here in my love life, that actually after all the tears and all the crying and all the pity parties and all the victimization and me feeling I was nobody and I thought I couldn't do anything, I realised, actually, I'm so ashamed, I'm so embarrassed, I've got nothing to lose by shining now, because there's no lower
you
than
can't
I can
go low, yeah.
I can only rise. And that realisation is great, because that makes you, you know, it gives you a drive. Do you know what? The thing about having nothing to lose is it means like losing yourself, losing those complexes or those thoughts that tell you can't achieve it. Because you've been through such embarrassment, such shame, you can use that story to turn your life around. You say, do you know what? I can't go lower than this, and I will rise, and that will be my before story, and this is going to be my after story.
It makes you fearless, isn't it?
It makes you fearless, it does. And I know there's many women that will be out there right now saying, okay, you know, I really feel like what you're saying. I've gone through a really bad relationship. I'm even bankrupt right now. I have problems with my children. How do I get to the place where I can say I've got nothing to lose, other than achieve something great, other than see the situation turn around? What can they do? This is what many people will be asking. What can we tell them?
Well, you know what? Can I just say something? When you're talking, I just thought a lot of people do get to that point. Like if you're in a role and you think, oh, I don't want to give up this job because I've got this income. I've always wanted to start my business, but I just can't. But then it's like you're sort of condemning yourself to be in this situation that you're not happy with. A lot of the time, the money coming in probably is not even paying the bills. So when you weigh it up,
what do you have to do?
I think it's mainly the fear, and how do you overcome that fear? For example, I've got these 3 people that you're going to see come up now, and I want you to think, what do they all have in common? So we've got Bruce Willis.
I love Bruce Willis.
You look
We've
really
got
nice in that
Tiger
picture.
Woods.
Okay.
And we have Churchill, Winston Churchill. What do they all have in common, ladies?
The third one, I was like,
oh my gosh, how can you not know our Churchill? Seriously, what do you think they all have?
Is the answer on our card?
No.
I wouldn't think they have anything in common.
I'm trying my
Really?
best. Sorry.
Think of fear.
I have no idea.
I'll put you all out of your misery because I know you're gonna be guessing. But they all were afraid of their speech and the way they spoke. Could you believe it?
Bruce Willis.
Could you believe it? I've got my notes here.
Bruce Willis.
According to Bruce Willis,
He looks so much more handsome now that he's older.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
he?
he does.
So strange,
He
yeah. As he's aging, he's looking more good looking.
Oh, Gemma,
But
you're
so cool. So cool.
Just as a side note.
yeah, it's just like you just cannot die hard. There's always a sequel coming out. But anyway, our Bruce Willis, what happened with him was basically he had a fear with the way that he would speak, and he thought that would impede his acting career. But he actually fought to overcome it, and now he's a very, very successful actor.
Oh yes.
And with Tiger Woods, believe it or not, he had a stuttering problem.
Oh, well, that didn't stop him cheating on his wife, though, did it?
Gemma, you just had to put that one in. You just had to go there. You're so mean.
Gemma.
She's so mean. But no, seriously, he really did have a stuttering complex. And the thing is, this is really bizarre, but look at how he fought to overcome it to become who he is today with his golf career. He used to talk to his dog.
Really?
Could you believe it? When he was younger, he used to talk to his dog in order to overcome his stuttering problem until he fell asleep. He would just talk to the dog.
At least he tries something. Some people, they've got a problem and they just think, oh, actually, forget it. I'm just going to... not that I'm saying you shouldn't live with it forever, but some people, they say, oh, I'm never going to do anything. I'll never speak publicly. I'll never try to be in the spotlight. I'll just be back here, and they give up on their dreams. At least he tried something.
And I mean, look at the last one, Winston Churchill. He had said that he had a speech impediment, but that never stopped him from, being Prime Minister. So you see, there's so many great people out there that had supposedly everything to lose with their obstacles and whatnots and so on, but they just took it on the chin, and then they fought, and now they're great people. So ladies, what obstacles have you had in the past that you thought were complexes and issues that you thought you would never overcome, apart from the love life?
I need to talk about this.
She always says
I need to say this this, but those who don't know at home, I used to hate public speaking.
Are you
I couldn't do
serious?
none of this like what I'm doing now.
I don't believe you because you're so chatty and bubbly.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a testament to the show. Because truly, I really, really don't like doing none of this. I like, you know, having a little chat here and there, or you know, a little corner chat here and there. But to say public speaking, I really, really don't like it.
You're
at
the
all.
life. I
And
mean, especially with the
amazing-
news pieces.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. It's only because I came to the show, and then I was put as comment reader. And then I had to face my fear.
It's good that she accepted the challenge.
It was the acceptance of the challenge, and I had to throw myself into it. But you know, not to say that every time that I come on the show, I don't go into a big ball of nerves. I do. Yeah, I do. But I just come on, and when you get chatting, that's it. You're fine, and the nerves just disappear.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do that, I would never know my potential.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah.
Jem, what fears have you had to face?
Now, genuinely, now that you've put me on the spot, I can't think of any.
That's Gemma.
I genuinely can't. For a second. Yeah, I genuinely can't think of any. There have been, you know, in all my, 20 years.
And 20 years.
Yeah, but no, I can't think of anything.
You can't. Maria. Maria. She's terrible. She's hiding. Maria, tell me.
Well, I think I've mentioned mine before. I have a fear of heights.
Of heights?
Yes,
Really?
a terrible fear of heights.
Yeah, I used to have a fear of heights.
Oh, so there is one.
So there is one.
Okay. To jump from things.
It's too late.
Yeah, Gemma, it's too late. No,
It's
I
really
had
like-
a terrible fear of heights, I have to admit. But then one day I did go and face that fear. I went to Paris.
Wow.
I think I mentioned it
And you went to the
before.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, I walked up the Eiffel Tower twice.
Wow.
And although the first time, I have to admit, when I got halfway, I froze. I couldn't move anymore, and I just froze there. But then there was this lovely guy behind me who was supporting me, and he was saying, "Go on, I'm behind you. It's okay. It's okay." I thought, okay, I'm going to try another step. I will try. But then, I got to the top. And then the next day, I went back on it again.
Was he single, Maria?
Oh, you're so...
Oh, well, it could have been.
But do you know what? Do you know what? One thing I can relate to with her thing, she's got all of the presenters cracking up now that the camera's on me. She's so mean. But another thing that is terrible is when you compare yourself to others. And I've been there. I've had that fear of constantly comparing myself to others, because I remember I used to be so big. Being a size 24, you compare yourself to anyone who's anything smaller than a size 24. I know, it's the truth. Yeah. I remember walking down the street and seeing all of these women and seeing their skinny waists and thinking, one day I'm going to be like that, I'm going to be like that. Yeah. And you just feel absolutely miserable. Yeah. It's not until one day I thought, you know what, I have nothing to lose. It's either I change the situation or love myself the way it is. Stop complaining.
It changes it really, really makes you insecure when you compare yourself to others. And we all do it. Every single one of us do. If we say that we don't, we're lying. Actually, Kelly Osbourne was saying, she said in an interview, just seeing the pressure that my friends, Kim Kardashian, there's that name again, and Kate Moss are under, make me never want to be the prettiest in the room. There is no such thing as perfection. Yeah. Because it's true, sometimes when you do stand out, people start looking at you and then nitpicking things at you as well, right? Yeah. But I think even the most prettiest women in the world or the skinniest women in the world, they compare themselves to others. And it does no good for you. No good at all. If you had to compare yourself.
Said that, I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I just think you should pick good role models to compare yourself to, because I think then it sets a standard for you. Yeah. I think that we shouldn't just have I will not compare myself to anyone. Yeah. Because I compare myself to members of our family that I really, really admire, and
one of them.
Oh gosh, Gemma, what is with you today?
I'll pay you later, darling. I'll pay you later. But I think it's good to have good role models, people that you look up to who are going to add to you, and then if you compare that way, but don't kill yourself to be like them. No, but you can see good qualities inside them that you can compare and say, let me reach to also be a good standard like that. I don't think there's a harm in that.
I think another problem as well is that people, it's kind of similar to what we were joking about in the newsreel. People also compare to themselves in terms of their finances as well. Yeah. Sorry, I'm losing my words today. And what tends to happen is that then they lose everything. They do have everything to lose, because then they run themselves into debts. They go into awkward situations financially that they can't get themselves out of just because they keep comparing themselves to others.
So true.
That person's got a Mercedes, so I have to get a Mercedes. That person's got a house there, so I have to get my house there. Everybody in my workplace has this kind of dress sense, so I have to have it. And then before you know it, you end up losing everything because you just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, it's so true. I think if you're not going to work hard to try to achieve those standards, don't do it. Because you know that I've known some people who pretend so much. They are just living a life of pretense, and they're running after that kind of life, but they're running themselves into debt. Everyone is looking at them like, oh my gosh, she's got this, she's got that. But really, there's lots of red bills at home that come every month and no one knows about it. But the other person's actually working hard, really working hard, saving their money and fighting to achieve that honest life and paying the bills. He's very careful about paying the bills. That's the thing, that's the difference.
That's
Don't
quite
people's
sad,
lives.
though, isn't it? It's quite sad for people to have to do that. It's, I think, what they
You'd be
call keeping up
surprised.
with
You'd be
the Joneses.
surprised though.
You'd be so surprised.
But you know what? One thing I would say to you out there, I know this is kind of cliche, but it really does help, is get a piece of paper and write down 27 things that you like about you. Just write it down and then reflect on that all the time, and then you remember why you're so special and you don't have to keep comparing yourself to others. But one point I did want to think about is looking at your past.
Oh, yes.
Many people, they can't move forward because all they keep thinking about is, but I did this yesterday and it didn't quite work, and this didn't happen for me the way I wanted it to, and so on.
Actually, that's a type of comparison, because when you look to your past all the time, that's all you keep comparing yourself of the future. For the present and the future is what happened in the past, and that's so dangerous. The past is the past. If you look behind, you're not going to go anywhere forward. And I know it sounds so easy to say, but every day is a new day. The whole point of us going to bed every day and waking up is that we have a new challenge. Because if life was supposed to be continuous, we would never go to sleep. We would never go. There's night and day for a reason. So every day is a new challenge. It's a new day. It's a day that you can. It's like a new chapter in your book.
It's a new opportunity.
New opportunity to make things right that went wrong yesterday. Maybe you had a terrible argument yesterday, and then you've holding a grudge. But you know what? The new day, you don't need to hold that grudge. Just go back and just say sorry. You know, there's no need. Let's just patch it up. Every day is an opportunity to make things better, to grow, to develop.
You know what? We're not saying to forget your past. I don't believe that anybody should forget their past. I think you should look to your past and look at the lessons that you can gain from them. And this is what Edir Macedo was saying on the first page of his book. Look at it and take the lessons from it. Look at Katie Piper. She was the woman, she had acid thrown in her face, completely disfigured. She could have said, oh my gosh, I'm a model, I'm a presenter, my life is over. But she didn't. Actually, we've got a video. Let's take a look.
When people meet me, the question I get asked the most, particularly when people have seen my TV programmes or read my memoir, is how did I get through it all and stay so positive? It really inspired me to write this book to help other people and show them that no matter how dark a situation you can feel you're in, there really is hope.
Wow. It's amazing. So people who don't know, Katie Piper, she, like I said, model, presenter, she was in a relationship. Her ex-boyfriend, he then took acid and he actually threw it in her face, and this is what she looked like after the attack. And she was, I think, in Knightsbridge somewhere, and she was so beautiful, so beautiful. She's in her 20s, had everything going for her.
She still is.
And you know, it's like, after something like this, she said that she wanted to commit suicide. And you would think, my career is over, my life is over, the excruciating pain that she went through. Because imagine having your face, she described it, I actually read about her, and she said, when you've got acid on your face, you can actually feel it peeling away.
My gosh.
And she said she could just feel the pain. She thought, first of all, that it was water that someone had thrown, and then when she sort of felt the pain, I think she described it as like knives in her face. And, you know, she went through absolute hell. You know, she's been through so many surgeries, so many treatments, and she has managed to turn her life around completely.
She's
now
an inspiration.
She's an inspiration. She's
It's
an
so beautiful,
ambassador.
you know. That's what happens when you don't allow your problems to define you. But you just take the best out of your problems.
You know what you're talking about,
Beautiful.
humiliation?
Yeah.
I think this is it. I think someone like that, you know, she looked at her situation, she got to the lowest of low. And when you're in that pit, you know, in that moment where you think, I'm in this dark, dark pit, you've got two options. It's either, like we said, some people decide to end it all, or some people say, you know what, the only way is up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to do something with it. And this is what we're talking about, getting to that point where you say, I have nothing to lose and I'm going to do something. And that's what she did.
And she's proof of that.
She's
what an amazing comeback.
Yeah.
Like you say, Jennifer, you know, an inspiration.
Completely.
She's absolutely wonderful.
I mean, I wanted to conclude and just say that if you feel like you have nothing to lose, you're also at the point where you have everything to gain. It's not just simply about looking at the situations that you're currently in or using your emotions and getting down in the dumps about how your life is. It's about challenging that particular situation that you're in and, you know what, putting your head up and saying, do you know what? Seeing as I've got nothing to lose, I've got everything to fight for, and I can turn this situation around. As you can see through the examples that we've had throughout the show, it's just been amazing. These people, they managed to turn their lives around, and you can too. And also, if you ever need any help or support, please feel free to send us an email. Shireen, what's our email?
comments@dkw.me.
And Jem, you're eager to tell us about Love Life and Lipstick. You're there like, Love Life and Lipstick, tell us.
Definitely. So there's a live event this Saturday, 2 o'clock at the Rainbow Theatre in North London. We're going to play the ad after this show. Love Life and Lipstick. If you want to know what the men are thinking, have you ever wondered, what are men really thinking? How do you unlock their thoughts? What do they want from women? You're going to find out at this show. 2 p.m. this Saturday. We'll see you there.
Don't miss it. We look forward to seeing you all again. And those of you who met us in Westfield, please feel free to come down and see us again. It's been a fab show. And remember, ladies and gents that may be watching, you have absolutely nothing to lose. Take care. Bye.